Ultra buddies, how's it going? During here in Gonquin for Gardeno Games, we got the big week for you. We finally finished all five triple rares from the new set, and we've got the Omega from the trial deck. It's gonna be a video. So
A lot to talk
buckle
about.
in, get your popcorn, get yourself a drink, and
Grab your newly released Omega Fuas
oh my gosh, it's so cute.
and sit back and enjoy whatever's about to come out.
Absolutely. So we're just gonna get started with the Omegas, because come on, you gotta start with the Omega. This is the starter deck '03 Omega Reckiness Armor. So we'd love to see the 17,000 power, don't we? And a
Mm.
double or triple effect when this character. Oh, it's when a character enters play. I'm so bad at reading cards. I thought it was
Wait.
just an activate.
Oh, yeah, it's when this character enters play,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
When
okay.
this
Yeah, yeah.
character enters
For a
play.
second, I thought you said when any character enters play.
Yeah.
It
This
scared
character
me for a second.
play.
All right.
I have to be careful because they could put those in there and you wouldn't. You just be like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
when this character. Anyway,
Okay.
you may return one Kaiju card with type Medio from your discard area to the top of your deck to give this character 1,000 BP for this turn. So a one turn, 18,000 on the triple, 13,000 on the double. Not so bad. Definitely doesn't feel great on playing the double, but this deck revolves completely around Medio Kaiju, which you are about to see. And this card, you got to keep it in mind for the next couple cards because it really pulls things together,
Yep.
even though it doesn't seem like much right now.
I mean, just on this card alone, being able to put down an 18k triple on play, it's almost like a Blazar triple where the turn you play it, it's going to be a very strong move. 13k doubles, not the worst thing in the world, especially towards the later part of the game.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest thing that you'll get out of this is being able to grab one Medio Kaiju. I think we saw one already, which was the Reckiness actually,
Yep.
which lets you boost a Medio Kaiju or an Omega. So you can actually set up your next turn with this, which is actually pretty important. So you can play this one as your double on like lane 4 or something. Try to stay in the game, and then next turn you'll have set up your Reckiness from the top of your deck. You play it as a 9,000, and it's a BP boost in Omega, so it can BP boost this one up to 17,000. So like that's something like even just by itself, this card has some power to it,
Mm.
but it's
And
gonna
it's
be
a
crazier.
starter deck
But yeah,
triple
it's a
R, which
starter
is never going to be it's always like a little bit weaker than a booster pack one, but it's still a good effect,
Yeah,
especially with
unless it
everything you
started a
get.
free arc, and then.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
Mm.
that's beside the point. So keep this card in mind. We're moving on to the triple feature. We'll start from the. Let's just start the big boy first. Actually, we'll go from two kaiju to the big one. So the level 2 from the starter deck, you can send the top 4 cards of your discard from your deck to the discard, and if you discard a kaiju card, you have plus 1,000 BP. Pretty decent, 12,000. Only works as a double. Uh, that's all I can say for it, but it fills up your discard for the Reckonance Armor we just saw, so you can put those Media Kaiju back on top of your deck and
Mhm.
kind of set up your turns. The next card is Trigaron at level 6, Media Kaiju, so this is our second one we've seen. This one comes in the set. So a single or double when this character enters play. If you have an Omega, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and put an Omega card or a Kaiju into your hand and send the rest of this card. So it is a solid +1 card. You just grab something from the top of your deck whenever you play it, almost like a searcher, which is pretty neat. And of course, you can put things on top of your deck with the Media Kaiju. And then finally, we have the big boy, Ultraman Omega, triple rare, BP04, 18, massive 18,000. We talked about 17,000 because 18,000
Mhm.
is better. To double or triple activate once per turn, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Choose a level 5 or 6 Kaiju card with type Media from among them. Trigger one when this character enters plays effect on it, and send the rest of them to. Well, send all the revealed cards to the discard. So now you kind of get the full picture of Omega. What are your first thoughts since I just yapped
It,
all the effects?
I think it's really cool. I mean, 5, 12, 18k already a really good number. you're going to be a strong lane, and then it's an activate. You can keep using this effect, and depending on how many kaijus you have, or with the other omega, like how you do the setup, you're either going to play a card that is going to get you a card advantage, kind of like you still have to hit a sorry, the kaiju was a yeah. I wonder if we're going to hit back that Mebius problem, but you're almost guaranteed to hit this. You're gonna either hit an Omega card or you're gonna hit a Meteor Kaiju
Yeah.
in a standard Omega deck. So you'll basically get a free card
Yeah.
and put some stuff in your discard, which will then funnel your other Omega and other cards. I think we've yet to discuss so far.
Mhm.
Like the scenes, but you'll basically start rotating that. Or you hit the Rekiness, which will give you like a BP grade up of one of your Meteor Kaiju or Omegas. So every turn you're getting some kind of surprise. Well, maybe not every turn because you still have to hit the Kaiju, but
Yeah.
you're hopefully going to hit some good surprise to set yourself up for a win or a strong turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think we have seen two Medio Kaiju so far, so if we get
Mm-hmm.
one more, you should have pretty good consistency on hitting this effect, being able to play 12 in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I think one of the things that I love to talk about is a little bit of like luck or hidden intervention in the game,
Mm-hmm.
where this card is very scary in the fact that your opponent doesn't know what's going to come out from it. So they have to, you might have to just play around them getting what they want, but it might not come out, and then you overinvested, so you have to like play a very like risky game, or maybe not risky game, but you have to think a lot about it. But one thing that really stands out for me right now is like this deck discards a lot of cards very, very quickly. Which
It
could be
does.
useful though. It could be useful for certain things,
Yeah.
like a 20 discard Mebius, or
Hikari,
Hikari,
especially
or
with that new Hikari.
well, spoilers. We haven't got to that one yet. I'm just kidding.
Have we not? Oh, yes, we haven't. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
We
but
will
there is
get to
a new
that card.
Hikari that likes having cards and discards, so you got to keep your mind open for the different pairings that we can have. But this deck looks really fun.
I think it'll be a fun one to play. We will definitely have an Omega week
Yes,
for
we can have a mega
BP4 and
for sure.
play a lot of Omega games.
It'll be. I don't know. I hope we see one more Medio Kaiju. That's my hope.
I feel like we might get like a level. I don't know if it'll be a level 5 or another level 6, because
hmm
having a level 5 of the kaijus will definitely change a lot because you'll be able to play them as doubles.
Yeah,
But even if it's a level 5 with a very weak uncommon effect, it'll at least be something like, even if it's like draw a card, discard a card or
that's
something.
exactly what I was saying. If it,
That
even as draw a card, discard a card, I'd be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it'll give you something to combo off of, and then like the other one where you want to get a plus 1,000 or something else.
Yeah.
Um,
The best would be actually if it kind of giving it like a Mebius flare, is if they had one that gave a plus 1,000 or plus 2,000 BP. So then you have the option to go for a BP
mhm,
boost or for a plus 2,000. And then it gets like
yeah.
really scary if you've got like two of these BP04 Omegas on the
Oh,
field.
if you have two of those, your
And then
deck is done. Your deck is not gonna
your
last
deck
if you.
is done, but it doesn't matter if you win.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's
All
move
right.
on. The card, I guess if you saw it, you saw it. But the card that exploded my brain for Omega, the scene, the alien scholar and I. I don't know if you can see it. Why don't you give that a read, since I've been reading
Yep.
too much?
Yeah, no. So this is Alien Scholar and I. It's a second episode of Omega. It's an act. It's a turn 3 scene, or round 3 scene. It's an activate once per turn. If you have Omega on the field, send the top 3 cards of your deck to your discard area, and then choose one of your Omega or one of your Medio Kaiju. And for each Kaiju with type a Medio from among those cards sent, give the chosen character plus 2,000 for this turn. So you're
Huge.
it's interesting because it's one of those like hidden information. If there aren't a lot of Medio Kaiju in this current
Yeah.
set and you miss everything, you get +0. But if there's enough and you have like a decent amount, you can get like 2,000 or 4,000 or even 6,000
Yeah.
bumps
Huge,
for a
huge
lane.
difference.
So it's like a slot machine with the power bump. It's very hard to predict or play against or around because
Hmm.
you might hit all three. Like you might be able to control the top card of your deck with some of these other
Hmm.
effects, but like it'd be insane to just flip it and like, oh, plus six
Oh,
thousand.
yeah, plus
Like
six
that
thousand.
opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah. So
That's
one thing
just
I will
straight up.
say that like kind of reels me in after rereading this card is it only targets one specific character.
Yep.
So you're not getting like a labyrinth type effect where you're giving plus 2,000, plus 2,000, plus 2,000, or like the Z scene where you can it's a three times per turn. You discard, give one there, discard, give one there, discard, give one there. It's gotta all be one character, which I think helps you play around it a little bit.
Hmm.
You just don't know, like you won't know which character they're gonna choose, but you know that like it has to be one, and so you
Yeah.
could try to like play around it in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It can only flip one lane at most. It is a round three scene, so this is going to come out round four. Fields are going to be pretty established by then, so it's definitely something to watch out for. Is like, do you want to let your? I mean, once you have this with the other effects, like being able to pull them
Mhm.
from discard and things,
Yeah,
uh,
and I think that the
time
really
limits.
important thing to think about is probably in the later parts of the game, the Omega deck's going to be wanting to play kaiju's as singles or
Hmm.
doubles, maybe. So they, even a single kaiju just becomes a massive threat if you're potentially getting plus 6,000 on it.
Yes, I mean, I think Rekiness, uh, grade, the double grade is like a 13K. Was that right?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
so you can play it as a single 13K on that turn.
Hmm.
Um,
And then boom, it's 17, or it suddenly is
even
19,
15,
19,
50, no, no, even like 13, and then plus another 2,000 for
yeah,
15K
15,
on turn
17.
4, turn 5, or turn 5, turn 6. Like
That's a
that's
game
gonna win.
winner.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So this deck seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think when we saw this one, there's like some other interesting ideas that come up for the deck, which are things like Blazar or
mhm,
Nexus, things that can set up the top of your deck so you can get these effects, or
yep,
you can get the other Medio Kaiju effects. So those are going to be some pairings to think about, but you might get really, it might be start to get tight on space
yeah,
if you're playing Omegas and Medio Kaijus and another Ultra.
yeah. I think we'll have to see. I feel like Omega might be a couple cards shy of being a mono deck,
Hmm.
but that like kaiju, there probably won't be enough kaiju's to fill like traditionally what is that secondary hero role.
Yeah.
At least in this set, I'm pretty sure once BP5 comes out, we'll have more time with the show.
Yeah.
There might be more Medio Kaiju revealed. Like I think there's only the two that's been revealed with all the Omega information so far. Maybe even you get level 5 versions or just
Yeah.
other alternative level 6 versions of those cards, and we'll see a lot more with Omega and BP5.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. I think for me, what I'm looking for to see out of Omega for the rest of the cards in the set is like a solid uncommon level 3, so you can have a good, nice level 3 lineup. Like a 444 maybe, something like that.
Mhm.
Just something to give you more than just two. Um, and then also one more Medio Kaiju, just one more. Because I
Just
really want
one
to
more.
want to hit that like 12 number at the very least.
It'll definitely make or break. I think how far we see this deck go in
Hmm.
the BP4 meta.
For sure, for sure. All right, let's move on.
And yeah,
Ginga, a little few Ginga and victory cards, some double R's to flesh out the set. We've seen this card before many times. Return two cards from your hand. Well, up to two. You don't have to return them if you don't want. Up to two cards and then draw that many. So fix your hand. Very nice. Does this affect your Mebius Ginga deck at all?
yeah. So about Mebius Ginga,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mebius, we've talked about it probably in the previous video. Mebius is getting the ban list. The ban hammer is going to prevent your traditional Mebius based decks. This is a card I would have probably put as an upgrade to my Mebius Ginga deck. Not
Mhm.
anymore. So now it's pretty much I have to rethink this card from the lens of how it would affect Ginga Victory, which I'm
Yeah.
still a little iffy on, or maybe like cards like Ginga Zero. Maybe could definitely benefit from having some other double options that you can alternate and kind of like shuffle to get that ultimate zero you need to close the game.
Yeah.
It'll still have some. It'll. I think it's a good card to have for Ginga. I'm just kind of lost as to how I want to use Ginga in
Yeah.
BP4.
But Giga Victory is going to be so good. What are you talking about? Speaking of victory, we have the double
Yeah,
R Victory EX Red King Knuckle. A really cool looking card. Um,
yeah, I wanted to definitely comment on that one. I like both the English Japanese art, though I think this one they really did it well with the
yeah.
English art. I'm really excited about this. Now back to the cards effect, which I
Card,
feel
why
like
don't
it's
you read
not
it?
as great
'Cause
as the
I
art.
don't want to read it, so you can read it.
Yeah, so this one, when this character's battle opponent has type basic or power, this character's BP grade increases by 1, and then when you have 3 or more double ultra heroes, you get plus another 1,000. So it's like a very similar to Zero Slugger or those other type of BP grade up ones. This one's basic or power, which is a relatively common type. I think armed is probably also very common, but maybe we'll see less of it with the fewer Mebiuses out there.
Mhm.
Um, that being said, it's interesting because if you play it like you would the Zero Sluggers, it's actually only going to go up to 16k. It's a little bit more like the starter deck Zero.
Yeah.
Uh, if you get to turns 3 or 4 where you have the 3 doubles out, then it becomes a 17k, and only then it feels like it catches up to what Zero Slugger does for those decks.
Right. And in a similar vein to Zero, the scene for victory
Mhm.
lets you give the opponent's character type basic or power, and then
I
give
think
you
it's
one.
speed is basic or speed.
I don't remember.
I
It's
think it.
basic and something,
Yes, yeah.
and then you also get plus 1,000 to one of your units as well. I think,
But that
and
card you have to discard to
you
do
do have
that
to discard a
effect.
card,
Yeah.
which also feels like a downgrade over something like His Majesty's Medal,
Mhm.
which just gives you the armed type for freebies. Um, I'm not amazed by this card.
I feel like it needs something else. Like if you only looked at Zero Sluggers and that's where you stop, like if you only went up to BP1 for Zero,
Yeah,
I think it was a fine deck, but
yeah,
fine, just fine. But then when you had BP2 and Ultimate Zero, and you're able to do BP grade up and give types and have an 18k, then Zero had a lot more power to like be competitive.
yeah.
I think this is like BP10, where I think it's a fine deck, but it's not gonna hit the upper tiers of competitiveness without like something like uh Ultimate Zero that can also give like adjacent victory or double hero a BP grade up and then give someone else a basic type.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
missing that last
Giga
touch.
Victory needed like a little bit more oomph out of this deck than it got, or
Yeah.
out of the set than it got. So
We'll
sorry,
still play it. I think it'll be a fun game to play, but it's
it's probably not
probably
something
gonna
we're looking
struggle to.
at
Yeah.
to take to like a competitive, like a highly competitive event, like a regional event or a
Yeah.
world's qualifier. Granted, we could test it out and
Mhm.
totally change our mind, but at least just based on the card reveals, it's kind of looking a little suspect.
It's one that like maybe it'll be something like a Nexus Zero situation where if we have a very basic type heavy meta,
Oh yeah,
then its value could increase. But without outside of looking at the meta, it'll definitely need some more oomph to
Mhm.
be competitive against non-basic type decks.
Yep. Alrighty, moving on. We've got the
All right.
Hikari that we talked about a little bit earlier. Pretty much the same as the Nebius for BP03. Now that I think about it,
Well, it's I mean it's an uncommon, so it's a slightly weaker version
it's
because this one
slightly
needs to
weaker.
hit 20 cards. It
Yeah,
doesn't have like the 10 card plus 1,000
yeah,
to get to 17k. So it's
yeah.
all or nothing.
It
It's a
is
good
all.
boost, but um, I actually wonder where this would fit in a deck like not Mebius Ikari we talked about before. It's not a deck set up to hit 20 discards easily. Um, so unless you pair it with Omega or something that has a ton of discard,
Mhm.
then you might have more mileage running a vanilla 17k victory. It'll
Mm.
really come down to do you pair it with something that's just going to shove so many cards into discard that you can hit this effect by turn 4?
Yeah, yeah. Because if you hit it any later than that, you're gonna be kind of sad.
Mhm.
Like you really need to get this effect online by around turn 4 to feel. But yeah, there's not too much to
Mhm.
talk about. I would be very curious to see if we see like a new style of WC card that's like tank. I would call it like the tank style, where like you
Mhm.
just build up a bunch of 18Ks and go from there. But Yeah, I don't know, especially with the ban list, it might be a little tricky.
Yeah, we'll need to see maybe if there's one or two hidden maybe Shikari rares that
Yeah.
can help
Speaking of
get it out.
Mebius rares, the hope, everything's riding on this Ultraman Mebius to save the deck. A triple only effect: when this character enters play, you can discard one card from your hand. You give one of your. It's Hikari. Oh
Oh
no!
yes,
It's
it is a
always
Hikari.
Hikari.
Which is where I have to rethink this after I saw this before the ban list, so
Yeah.
now I'm also kind of rethinking it. I think for an old like a BP3, BP2 era Mebi Sikari mirror matchup, Hikari played as a double, like not as a 1-2-3 lane, but as a 2-3 lane
Hmm.
was always like the weak point of
Right.
like sometimes you just had to do it because you needed the discards, but then you were stuck with like an 11 or 12k that just didn't go anywhere, or I
Yeah.
think it was 11k double. So um, you were just stuck. But then at first reading this, I thought this was interesting because then you could flip. Like
Right.
this is a card you could run one or two copies in your deck. Champion of the Fierce fight a lane that was already winning, like maybe it's against a Zero Slugger or something,
Hmm.
because it's a basic type, so it would cancel out Zero Slugger, and then you could bump that Hikari up to a 17k.
Mm.
You would have to discard a card, but I think that's fine because it's still going to be a net 3 cards for 17k,
Yeah.
which is what Hikari would have wanted to be anyways.
Right. Even if it's just for one turn. But yeah,
So, but
it's still a little suspect. But now that you're missing one of your strong level threes, I think this is a solid shoe in,
yeah.
and we'll see. There's a chance that maybe it's a good replacement level two,
Mhm.
which could keep the deck kind of floating.
Yeah, it's just definitely, especially if we're going to a version of maybe Sikari where you're throwing a ton of discards. Yeah, this could be one where you throw one or two copies of not something you want to organically play into a double or triple,
Right.
but something you champion of the fierce fight into a very utility win the game kind of bump.
Makes sense. And we have been saving a little special treat for last. I should have mentioned
Yep.
that at the beginning to keep you guys
Oh
watching.
yes.
But oh well. The final triple rare of the set, Ultraman X. He looked awesome. I love
All.
the art is so good.
And also, we've already seen that it's announced the I guess August winter card will be Ultraman X.
Ooh.
So there will be no Ultraman X UR or SSP
Mm,
because you typically the winter cards went to a card that only had the SPs.
okay.
That being said, it's a really cool looking, interesting color, but kind of makes some sense. It's like a green color,
Yeah.
like a computer chip. But it'll be the August Galaxy Cup winner. I know X is a favorite of many fans, so that might be a very competitive month, and it'll be the first month of BP4. So
Yeah.
definitely check out the channel, see any of our maybe top BP4 deck picks, and hopefully you
Yeah.
can use that to get to your
Yeah.
winner
Well,
card X.
it'll be close because I think our Galaxy Cup will probably be August 10th,
Mhm.
and that means you've got 2 weeks to get your cards and get your decks ready.
Yep.
We are planning to do a like day one decks kind of video, so just like our initial thoughts on how you can build up some decks and what decks would be good for each of the decks coming out in BP04,
Yep.
which is going to be a lot. So I think we'll probably have to keep it to just like the newer stuff and not be like, oh yeah, Resident Blue got new cards. Oh yeah, a Kyoku
I
got
think we'll sprinkle them in here and there
yeah.
with our matches because there's just going to be a lot of matches. But
Yes,
anyways,
it's gonna be so.
back to X.
Okay, back to X. Read it for us, Gaku.
All right, so we have Ultraman X. It's a 2/3 activate. Also, just real quick, it's a 7k, 11k, 17k. So very weak double, but very solid triple number. So once per turn activate, you choose one opponent's character and then reveal the top card of their deck. If that revealed card shares a type with the character you had chosen, that character cannot level up the next turn. Um, and then the revealed card returns to its previous state, which means it goes back to the top of the deck. So it's kind of like the Dark Lugiol we always wanted, where you could kind of like it wasn't like a
You can lock them
gamble on the
forever.
turn. You could yeah, you could lock them forever. It's more than once. It wouldn't be stuck at like whatever 9K or
Mhm.
15K. You could build it up to 17K. You can pick any lane, which is always neat. Like you can basically pick their newest lane, and if it's a
Yeah,
level one they'd played or a level two, like you
like,
can
yeah, it's like
control
there.
that.
Yeah.
Um, if you play this, like I think you could do some funny things. But
Mhm.
what are your initial thoughts? Because I think we have very
Um,
different excitements on
yeah, I think my
this card.
initial thoughts were like that this card's pretty bad. Um, just because it's like, okay, I you have to pick one of their cards and then look at their top card, reveal the top card of their deck. It has a share a type, which means their deck has to like be close to monotype, and then it can't level up during the next turn. So if they played like if it's already level 3, it doesn't matter. If it's like a 1-2,
Oh, but you
a one
pick
that
the
they're set.
character. You can pick any character.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
know,
have to.
but like
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying like it's not always like gonna be that like the lane that you want to pick is like the right is like it might already be a level 3 that you really needed to not to like block them so that you
Mhm.
could like I don't know. But like it
Yeah.
basically means like you can't pick like lanes that they've decided to play a 2-3 double because
Mhm.
it's pointless. So it like limits your targets. It's a little bit. It's kind of It's not a little bit. It's very random.
Very random.
Um, and so like for example, one of the decks you might think, oh, you know what, this would be so good against zero decks because they have like a bunch. All the level 3s are armed, and it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be so great, and then you're gonna realize that you have to pick a level 2, and all the level 2s are speed type, so it's still a coin flip about whether they'll hit a level 2 on the top of the deck and prevent users from. So like, there's most decks I would say like they don't have the same level 2 type as the same level 3 type, and most of the level ones are like basic type. So you're like kind of like doing a 1 out of 3 chance on average. Like this is a very gross generalization, but like
Yeah, no, but
the
it
odds
has a
are not
lot
in
of
your favor. And
RNG to it.
yeah, so I don't. I was like, this kind of sucks. But I think the more that I sit with it, the more that I feel like it's also the first X card we've seen.
Yes.
So if there's other X cards, depending on how things go, we could really change things up. And I think that you were a little bit more positive about it because you were thinking like that. So I want to hear your thoughts
Yeah.
now.
So, same thing. I agree. If you took only this card, it is a at the same time more consistent, but at the same time way less consistent version of Dark Lugiel,
Hmm.
where yeah, you could do it every turn, but you're gonna miss very often, especially if you top deck a scene card. Well, there's no type there.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm hopeful if we get a really good scene card that helps you manipulate what the top card of the deck is. Maybe a level 2 that does something like a level 2, um, what do you call it? Level 2 card that lets you look at the top card and then, like both players reveal the top card. Or, I don't know, something like that. Then you can improve the consistency of this effect, which is where like we had a very different opinion to Dark Lugiel's reveal, where I
Yeah.
think Dark Lugiel ends up, unless you play it as a double, can be a weak point in a deck.
Yeah.
But that ability of like stopping a level up had opened up a lot of doors on, wait, if you play turn 2, maybe you do this, turn 1 you do that, you deny a card, and then they have to like play 3 cards to catch up. Like I feel like this card has the potential to do the same thing if you're able to fix its consistency. And you can do it every turn. You could play this as a 2-3 lane 1, and you keep their level 1 locked the entire game. And you're allowed to miss once,
So funny.
because they could miss it once
That's true.
and then it becomes a double. But at that point, they're just going to give up on leveling it up. So I think there's some very interesting interactions.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I think Metron is the only card so far that lets you kind of look at their top
Mhm.
deck, and then put it back top or bottom. Hopefully, but I wouldn't really recommend playing Metron as it is today.
If you gotta play it, you gotta play it. You know what I'm saying? So
So yeah,
yeah. So speaking of like synergy combos, like what are we looking for X to like really take this deck from like
a gimmick
this one card?
to
It's like a gimmick to like
yeah.
an actually serious deck. Is we're looking for more cards like Metron. Look at that actually is debatably the best looking card at Metron. So okay, that's what that type is. Now I can use X to pick whatever I want. or pairing it, or if it has more cards that change the opponent's types. So like a pairing like zero might be funny. There's like in Discord, people are making jokes about the Xerox deck. Um, but you can give them armed type, and now when we should mention when you give a type, it adds on to their current type. So
Yeah.
now, if you're playing against a zero deck, uh, an opposing zero deck, and you're playing zero X, you can give the opponent's type their like speed level two, an armed type, and now it's going to hit like their whole deck. So you can really increase your chances by giving types to your opponent with zero. Um, Zero is like the main one. I know we just discussed Victory will do it, but I would not recommend that right now. Um, so one aspect is giving types. The other aspect is looking at the top of the deck. Hopefully, we'll see some support like that. Um, Kind of a cheesy thing is if you had two of them, you can use the first one to just like purposely whiff, and then you know, and then you just
See,
the next one works.
this is where I think this card just needs some time to experiment.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, having two of these, you know what it is, and then you can pick. Again, it does require you to have a good target to block the level up for. But
honestly, the more I think about this, the more I'm like very very worried about this card.
I think this is a deck that I will hate to play against because I'm just gonna like it's a weird type of RNG where they're just gonna call it right, and then I'm just gonna be like, wait, I don't know
Yeah,
how to play out of it.
I think if this deck is good, like if someone figures out a consistent way to play this deck, or like figures out the meta, like a meta around it, like let's say with Mebisi Kari, right?
Yeah,
Like that deck is surprisingly basic heavy. So basically any deck that comes into the meta that's like low on type variety, you bust out the X, and if it's like it's gonna be so miserable to play against. If this deck is like actually good, it's gonna be so miserable to play against.
I mean, like you can block a Tiga turn 3 level up, then they can't do their key
Yeah,
swapping play. Uh,
this could be really bad.
I think this has the potential to be the most toxic cheese deck in the world. Like if you play a two
Yeah,
three X lane one, and then you play a 2/3 X lane two, and you locked out like they're both basic types, and you know
yeah,
the basics on top. You've
yeah.
won lanes 1 and 2. You just have to win lane 3 with some random
I mean,
Gomorrah
you
or
don't
some
even
crazy
have to win
kaiju.
lane three. Like you could just be you can. So this is like getting a little bit like into strategy, which is a
But yeah.
video I'd like to make eventually. Which is like if you force a game-winning situation on turn one and two, then your opponent is forced to play their like strongest play um, to on lane three, or else they just risk losing. Which means you can like take advantage of that by playing a 1-2 in that lane, which they're most likely going to be playing a 2-3. Like I just got to put my best move, try to win. Then you play the 1-2, and then next turn you get a triple there, and they can't compete. So
And they
really
still
good.
can't level up their
And they
first
still
two
can't
lanes.
level up their first two, and it's it's over. So this I don't know. This is going to be the most frustrating deck to play against for sure. And
It
especially if I'm kind of hoping it's not that good, just because of that. But
But well, so they're dedicating 9 cards to it, so we will
yes,
get a full X set. 9 cards is not enough to make it like the main of a set, but it could be a very interesting support
yeah.
to your set. Like you put this with Dinah or something, and like you just play these as doubles and abuse them, and then you let Dinah later upgrade them to a 17K.
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
You because it's on an ultra character, it means there will be some degree of archetype built around it. Like if this
Yeah.
was a one-off kaiju, like a Dark Bluegill
Oh,
2,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it'd be one thing. Like it'd be manageable. Like Dark Bluegill, I don't think is like
But like, would there be enough
breaking.
X cards where you could make like an X with Alien Metron and Dark Lugiel and just like make the most
Oh
miserable deck to
yeah,
play
no,
against?
I don't think we'll hit that one in this set at least. But like, something like X Dyna XZ, something that you're able to pair it with a solid main character, and then you're just sticking these guys out there to just
You know,
block the key plays.
you know what the stupidest combo is if you do X and you're like you can't level up, and they have a level three and they're like that's stupid. But then you had played Gaia, and so you bounce their level three off, and then you say no level ups for you.
This card is just gonna have a lot of.
It's gonna be
Actually, you know what? Now that you said it, maybe Gaia X is the plan, because then if you slow down their level up progression, then
hmm
your bounce progression
right.
becomes much more effective,
Yeah,
and then then this will definitely be one that I think we'll try and throw at the wall at everything. And
yeah,
I think, like you said at the beginning, I don't think this card by itself is that amazing, but someone is going to crack the code
yeah.
and make this card a menace.
This is like the kind of deck where I feel like I would probably not play it. Like if I went to two regionals, I probably wouldn't play it at the first one, but I would for sure ruin some people's day at the second one if I did well at the first one.
I maybe this is like the world winning card, because if you play this at Worlds, if people aren't used to it, like it
Yeah,
is, a lot of decks, there aren't a lot of cards that like break your flow of what you want
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
So cards like Dark Lugiel is really hard to shoehorn and make that work. But
mm,
this, since you're able to do it every turn, and then if you're really insanely lucky and you're just able to spot call and
yeah,
block all the key level ups, you
yeah,
can take down any deck in theory. You just have to get that lucky or have something to get you that consistency.
yeah, definitely for sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
the X, the ultimate toxic deck. We'll see
Big
how good.
X in the toxic.
I know X and toxic, the Britney Spears deck. We'll see how good it gets in the next coming days. We've only got like 2 weeks really till the set
Yeah.
release. So, whew,
Probably next video we'll go through whatever's left, and hopefully we have the full card list out.
yeah, we'll definitely do a highlights. I think we'll talk about whether we want to do just like a highlights and the like initial decks all in one, or kind of split those up. But definitely at least do a highlights video. So stay tuned for that, and look forward to the Omegas. Oh my god, I can't find it. Omega, Moon Omega,
Yeah, just
and
get all your
X.
Omegas out there. Get all your Omega merchandise. Start watching Omega. I don't know.
Yes. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
All right, bye.